What a response from Team Vitality. They were down, but definitely not out. I'm your host, Yingsun. I'm back here in the studio once again, joined by Sadak and Kakuka. Welcome back. Kakuka, you've come back just in time to see a potential reverse sweep.
Okay, I'm super down for it. I think that Team Liquid started off very, very strong, but this Lotus, we hadn't seen it from Vitality. I love the fact that we got to see save on that Vyse, and I love the fact that we're still going to get 4 maps.
Minimum.
Yes.
Maybe even 5.
This is the Vitality I was expecting, to be honest, because like strong composition, strong movement, strong defaults. They don't get overwhelmed. They have actually good post plans now. So yeah, overall it's a good Vitality right now. They just woke up.
I'm glad you said this the way we expected, because I feel like this is maybe we're getting a taste now what they can do in this grand final. But let's kind of take things all the way back to the first round of this game. Let's go back to the pistol round, because we talked a little bit about Liquid's comp and their tendencies of liking to push. And Sadak, right off the bat, at least Vitality, they looked more ready than Heretics.
Yes, 100%. I think having the vault just to watch what Team Liquid is trying to do, that actually helped them a lot not to get surprised by some of these picks, for example. Yeah, that's perfect. I mean, yeah, they seem to have studied them a lot more on this map just to be prepared.
I mean, you know that with this composition, they're going to be aggressive. We saw a lot of A, sometimes a Mount. You know that is one of their winning conditions. They're going to want to take those duels. And probably because of the form that they were showing in the first 2 maps, you would think that Vitality would be scared. But it was actually having the cold head of thinking, guys, we know that they're going to push us. Let's just, start with the standards and work from there. And we're seeing Save right now. He's 100% locked in how he's going to take bind.
And I felt like it's like Liquid know, they know, we know. I think everyone on the planet knew what they were going to do. But it's the way the Vitality actually managed to answer to this. Of course, we see the Vyse, and Sadak, one or two things about playing Vyse. So what did you like about this Vyse from Vitality?
So I think she brings something unique, different from Killjoy, for example. Like with Killjoy, you want to play kind of this post plan, slow approach. She gets spaces just by aiming. With Vyse, you don't necessarily need to do that. Once you're set up on a post plan, on a bomb, right, on attack, you can just throw your vines and they last for so long. You can make so much time on this post plan, and they didn't lose. I think any single post plan. Maybe they lost one. Maybe.
I'll look that up for you while we wait. Yeah.
But to be honest, like this is the Vitality we were expecting, in the sense like they're now understanding what they have to do with the composition they have. Because every time they were on a site and they had to play post plan on attack, they were doing everything perfectly.
And I cannot believe it's actually on the hands of Save, like the Smoker, sometimes the Duelist, the Tejo, now the Vyse. How many things is going to put on his plate? When is that plate going to be full? When is it going to overflow? Yeah. But yeah, as you're saying, very reactive also as well. It's very normal that when we see a player playing many different agents, many different roles, and when we see them during the game, the utility is not that good because they're not so used to it. The situations become more specific, but he was actually very resolutive in the way that he was using the walls and the utility for the post plan, even in the 1v2 when he throws the aggros. Like there's so many examples of why he had such a good performance.
Yeah, and you were right. 9 out of 9 post plans, 100% win rate once he got the plan down. The exact Vitality we wanted to see. We haven't had a chance to really even talk about Derke yet in this series. Even though they lost map 1 and 2, he's been frying today. Kakuka, he's been on form, and now they are winning again. I honestly feel like it's not going to stop.
This is what I like the most, seeing the operator on the attack, also understanding the weaknesses and giving a little bit of variations. Yes, he's able and he has the freedom in some rounds to push with the operator, but the control over Mount, over C, not allowing them to push. Then he swaps, gives the operator to Trex, goes in, change of pace with his ultimate onto side. This kind of flexibility is what makes Derke one of the best duelists in the planet.
And it's also the experience, right? He's been in these situations so many times. If it's anybody on the planet that's not really afraid about being 2-0 down, it's going to be Derke here. But let's talk about the next one, because we will be going to Bind. They didn't look their best against KC on this map. What do you think were the issues there from Vitality, Sadak, and what would you like to see them fix coming into this?
That's a good question. I mean,
Is it your deadlock was just too
It was
good?
good, yeah.
Your deadlock was too good.
to be honest, I was destroying them, but they did have a good approach on what they were trying to do. But I think we were just a step closer to, like, forward. Sorry, we were a step forward that they were trying to do. But at the same time, I don't know. I think they had enough time to just fix it and try different things. Because, yeah, I think they have an overall good bind. They should have a good bind.
Yeah, in terms of preparation, right? We're speaking about how well Vitality has been doing on that approach, but especially against you and that bite, they knew what they were coming up against. What do you feel was the biggest like counter to you? Did you feel at some point that the preparation from them was present when you played against them?
They definitely prep a lot because I had to do some different stuff, like with trips and all of that, because they were breaking a lot of my util. And also, since we play like Vyse and Deadlock, they know how to approach that slowly, just breaking util. So they are really a smart team when they know what they have to face against, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it against Foot, right? When they ended up playing against Foot on that bind, they had absolutely no issues, absolutely dismantled them. I think that's what you spoke about. They had time, they could fix things. But what can they do against this Team Liquid's comp, though, Kukuka? What do they have to look out for here?
I mean, I think it's number one, the individuals, right? I think that everybody's feeling very comfortable in their skin. Everybody's playing in an agent that they feel comfortable. I want to see if that Tejo is coming back. I expect them to. I know that we're seeing a Liquid that has been changing things around, and you kind of know that this bind is going to be in the mix. It is not one of the maps that you're the most scared of. Like, you have a Lotus that you don't know what's going to be, and that you just played on the previous day with the composition that we just saw. You have maps like the first two, like Split and Haven. But it's in this moment of the best of 5, when we get to bind, when we see that equal kind of pathing of a map that they both have prepared, that is all going to be the adaptation in-game. It's not so much what you have prepared, but also how you adapt. Now that I have you here, I noticed that one of the things that you did in bind, obviously, when you were on the attack, I feel like Sugetsu had this kind of freedom to buy the operator or buy the outlet to put that kind of pressure. Do you think that, for example, that is something that Team Liquid can?
I mean, Nats is going to do it.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, I think they have it on Nats for sure, but it has to be like kind of a strategic round on when to do it, because Outlaw is super strong, but it can be super weak also if you know you're facing an Outlaw. So basically, Dima, he was always saying, I can just kill them with Outlaw. Okay, just go for it and kill them. And we saw that actually work, or might work against them. So we use it. We practiced it before, so we use it on tournament day, and it worked really fine.
Yeah, and nobody else in this tournament has more experience right now at Kickoff than Nats on the Outlaw.
Oh, yeah.
He's just been buying them so much, killing so much with it. But I do wonder how Liquid are going to approach this. They won 6 maps in a row without losing at all. They finally got stopped by Vitality when they could have 3-0'd them on Lotus. So we've been crediting Nats about how he's IGLing, about how he's keeping the team mental high. But Sadak, it does feel like that this is even going to be a more difficult job for him to just close it out, because a lot of teams have problems with that.
Now I would say it's where actually experience in tournaments and in finals comes into play, because now they have to close it out, right? But closing it out is super hard. Believe me, I know. I lost several finals before.
No,
It's not even us instigating.
Yeah, I'm okay, you know? Yeah. But I would say, like, this is the moment where you see the actual experience of the players. And I would say Vitality, just for that, they have raw experience on when it comes to finals and being on the stage and performance. So yeah, it's gonna be a lot from Liquid. They have to be everyone in sync.
Yeah, but don't you think that maybe this Lotus is like an isolated incident that, you know, they know that the composition is not that strong, or that they don't, or they think that Vitality is something that they can counter easily, since they did not have anything to prep against Vitality. Like, I can see the conversation of being like, yeah, we were not 100% on this map, could have happened, could have not. Exactly. As in, we did not see ourselves winning here. You know, like, we knew that this was like a 50-50. If we lose it, don't worry, guys, our bind is super strong.
If they go with that mentality, this is going to be a super terrifying fourth map for sure.
I mean, that is what you hope, right? That is what you hope, that they have this mentality. But let's not forget, a lot of these players on Liquid, they have never been in a final. They have never been 2-0 up against a team of Vitality's caliber. And now they have another chance of closing this. Don't forget, Paddy has a lot of trauma being on the Heretics team, not winning anything.
That's right.
Well. Nat in the past has been in this position before. So hopefully they do go into this with a mentality Vitality that you mentioned.
They're
you know,
fighting
GG
their
go
demons
next.
right now. Yeah.
Exactly. And I almost feel like for Vitality it's a little bit easier. They managed to win that map pretty dominantly. There's all smiles on that side of the stage as well. But it is also a very, very difficult task to reverse sweep, Sada, because you speak about closing out reverse sweep. Is it harder to reverse sweep, you think?
It is harder, but in finals not that hard as people imagine, because you get super nervous. Like if this is your first final, I think it is for several of these guys, right? They just start overthinking. And people like on Vitality, like Les, you have a lot of experience with Derke, of course. They know they just have to be chill. They have to wait for the right moment. They have to be patient.
Well, maybe the right moment could be now as we take a look at the agent select, and Kukuka, no changes.
Yeah, no changes. What I love to see Kiko on this Brimstone, we talk about his roll swap, and one of the things that make us just look at him all the time was D's defense with this Brimstone. Definitely so far in the tournament, I would say his best map, or one of the best ones. You know, Split is right there, but playing the race is a little bit different. So that is definitely where my eyes go.
Yeah, and a fourth new agent in this final. I think the safest play 4 different agents.
Oh, wow, that guy is truly a flex, huh?
Yeah, he gets to play all the things that you want to play as well, you know?
Yeah.
We'll get you on the duel list.
Put me harbor. Where is the harbor? Where is the harbor safe?
There is no harbor. But how are you feeling about this, Sada? You think Liquid can close it out here?
I really, really, really like the Gecko from Liquid. I really, really liked it. In this map in particular, the Gecko ults are amazing, and also like just sending the little bro, right, the wingman to plant is such a victory on this map, because you can do everything you want when you send the wingman, right? You take wingman, okay, you take lamps. Wingman, you take elbow from B, right? You can always do something else, so it's always like a 5v5.
Yeah, but watch out for being maybe keeping on those patterns, because I think that Safe is going to force a lot of fights.
Well, Vitality, they have started their reverse sweep, but as you heard from Sadak, not the easy thing to do, Mitch and Tom, but let's see if Liquid can close this out.
No, not quite an easy task. Tom, looking at the compositions, we're coming into this map with, we don't have Harbor on Safe, much to Sadek's chagrin, but what do you make of the composition they've brought to bear?
Oh, he also really loved the wingman, so I'm excited to see what we're going to get out of that one. I do like seeing the Teo still in play. I think that, again, it can be super disruptive, it can be fantastic in post plants, and then that sort of this combination of the Raze, Brim, and of course the Teo in post. And we don't even need to talk about Les. We know what he can do already, though. This defensive aggression attempted, but look at the reaction. Vitality were trying to almost beat them to the punch. Instead, they'll settle for an orb.
Will be a slower start from the attack with 2 postured up on B long, but then the brakes very much pumped. A drone sent through on A, clearing out Bath and making noise as it does that. Players waiting for aggression. Someone on Team Liquid's going to get curious eventually. At least that's what Vitality are hoping for. But look at how passive and patient they're playing with so much reactive utility to work around. Team Liquid don't feel like they need to move on the A site. And on B, they've got the numbers when these players breach through the choke points.
They're already waiting.
They've been below the window.
Sort of utility to go through. It's a potential pop flash. Panitek immediately starts to look the other way, and it hasn't caught this close corner position. Already they just walked to the slaughter. Kiko on that Brimstone looking still like the star. And while Safe, he's having to fade back out of there. He's still been spotted though. It doesn't even matter. Les has jumped through, doesn't even move anyone's crosshair. And while it's going to be an in-zone flawless to kick things off in a pistol, what a start from Liquid.
Yeah, nicely handled, and I think just a misread from Vitality, committing the guided salvo to backside, hoping to force players out into the open, but much more ratty positions being held up close. CQB, and it was easy with the numbers that they had with the wall up to allow that wide swing from Panitek, easily overwhelming the players on long, and he goes back into hookah to claim another. This is a beautiful pistol round for Team Liquid, and the building block that should set them up 2-0. With Vitality, they've invested nothing. And even off rip, the smoke goes down. We'll see this a lot. Smoke down, orb taken, and then another for Panitek with that kill.
He's been having a great start to this one. That's the thing. You have your second initiator. that can get you info, but doesn't have that flash, and that's the problem. And while right now, they were setting up to go for the same flash play through the smoke, maybe even expecting someone in the close corner, but they've been spammed out before they can find anything. Still, with 3 players within this site, there may even be an attempt to go back just to maybe get a plant down or something, but right now it seems like Vitality's only goal is, okay, let's have a little bit of patience, see if someone comes to me, and well, for safe that was the case.
All missiles away.
Last player
Oh,
standing.
safe. He's not going to get away with very much there, is he?
Back to back.
Jumps around, quickly shut down, in zone flawless. I mean, like you say, Tom, back-to-back, big money maker for the side of Team Liquid. More concerning if you see it later on, but even now, when we get back into the game, you'll see the buffer of credits they've got. You'll see the weapons are not at that much of a disadvantage. For Vitality, after suffering this loss, it's fine. It's not the end of the world. They would have liked a bit of damage, but if they lose this round and start to trail, Deja Vu kicks in real quick. And you think that Vitality, they had preparation for Lotus. They played against the comp. They were ready to counter. Here, though, it could be right back to what we saw in map 1 and 2 for Liquid.
They want to try and find a response and find it fast, straight through. There is this double flash still waiting on the other side. Panitek goes close, and then they could try and do the same, but well, I think the Gecko flash, unfortunately, has got stuck up top, so no chance or a retrieval.
Yeah, had to be thrown out a little wider to make sure if flash players on long, if they were there, TP used. But Safe is not joining a big A push. It was just a quick bit of sound given away. See if it can prompt a play out of Team Liquid, and it has a big push coming out of Hookah that Trex is very much ready for. A good double to thin out this defensive side. Still some decent weapons, mainly on Kiko. Derke's heard him drop down. Heard that shot fired, knows exactly what it means, and calls for kicks to come up close. Tiger will go in. The question is, does Derke follow?
This is the thing, you can tell that this time with Kiko not having the support, he's just going to fall back that little bit further. You can see the push up as well from the defensive side. Camo is coming in on the flank, and Kiko's done well. Playing in front of the utility, they haven't been able to clear him. Definitely still worried that there could be a player back towards Hookah, and to be honest, in a matter of moments, they would be correct. Safe has done well. The swing, though, is immediate, and now there's one more player they have to deal with. Camo up above. He's going to use the nade to buy time, but his only goal is to try and bait out a reposition. Now that plant will come in for Kicks as he heads into the 1v1.
Flash is still there to work with as well. Kicks hadn't thrown it out, and he's biding his time, waiting for his moment. The jump peek to try to spot Camo. He doesn't see him. Is he around on long? The long wrap, perhaps? There it is. He spotted him, and the flash should soon fly over the top. He has to be careful. That hasn't caught Camo, who saw the weapon at the back and corrects in time. Clutching up against Kicks and putting a 3-0 score on the board. This is Team Liquid right back to winning ways.
Yeah, again, I love the way that I think Kiko just knows he needs to buy time. Just basically halts them as long as he can, even plays as bait for his teammate who comes in just at the right moment to go for those trades. And that bought just enough time for Camo, who had slow walked all the way up from the other side of the map. And that's the thing, you know, with the composition on the other side, there isn't that out-and-out sentinel. There isn't that player that will catch you on those flanks. So if there's nobody watching it, you have a lot of free space.
Well, this is it now, 3-0 in an easy round that they come up against. Vitality have come in with a lot of weaknesses, with stingers. And well, Kamek, yep, into the teleporter you go. Time to stay alive. A little bit risky in the position he's in. Molly's going to keep back the rest of the squad, so despite the low HP, he's sticking around. Now that one has me perplexed, confused. He even had a teammate with heal. Panitek steps in to at least trade out. Camo, not quite there for the first shots, but there's pressure on both sides. These players on site, they can't work together. Divided they fall, but Les might be able to make something out of this. He hits shift just in time. I don't think they've heard him. Ult orb taken, wrap back through the TP, and they've already spotted that Les is here. Nice shot onto Kamek, and with low HP on Paddy, this is a winnable round again for Vitality.
There's one off. Showstopper will come in from the plant. Derke has been farming. He went back through that TP, collected an orb, Plants collects another. And now this becomes a truly devastating post They need to kill him off before he can do any damage. He's actually walking almost right back into Panatek, who's low HP. That's going to be everything. A freebie kill, and now Nats torn between two players. One up in heaven, the other now sat with a rifle, watching Bims around this corner. Needs an instant fight, and well, the showstopper wasn't even needed. A pay save card, Thrifty. Vitality on the board.
It's going to get your spirits lifted pretty quickly. Here to start, it was a bit confusing. Low HP and he steps right back up for the fight. The wallbang shot was more than enough, but Patty still having heal, you kind of question if that was needed. Overheating a bit and up against the weaker weapons, the worst time to do it. They took advantage of every little mistake that was made. And as a result, Vitality now 3-1, safe, feeling like they're back, and they start around with a showstopper. If they're going to get back into this game, back into this series, with Lotus already, that was a good start. But this is exactly what they need. Early contest of Team Liquid's lead.
This is where those blips, those mistakes, can get the heart pumping for Vitality. That was a really big round to take. And the thing is, I was expecting the showstopper to be expended. It's not. It's held for this round. Note, though, the orbital strike is available for Kiko. We've already seen him tear opponents apart with just a smoke or a molly. But this is the first time we now see Vitality walk into Nat's lair. This is a position he's almost renowned for. He's got to be careful, though. This is quite a wide peak, maybe not realizing how close they've managed to get. He's under serious pressure. Derke past the util and even hits the headshot.
Clean start. Still another player to root out of sight, though. Camo is sitting there. There's the heal. Propped right back up to fighting health. And Camo has managed to stay alive, but there's still threats in the late round. Trex lurking outside
30 seconds left.
Bathroom. With a chance to drop in later. Flash is found. They know that someone's on that side. Showstopper thrown in. Fired at Camo, who barely survives. Suspects the flank. Drops a nade that buys him time. But I think he doesn't have quite as much time as he needed. 12 seconds left. Spike needs to be planted, and Vitality now committing to it. It's less, and he does manage to get it across the line. Trex picking up Kiko as well. Puts this into their favor all of a sudden. Kamek and Patatek, they've got an extra player in the form of Wingman. They can start the defuse and make this awkward, but Trex, with the kill, has the orbital strike online, and that is going to put a major spanner in the works. Another round for Vitality. They're stringing them together now.
A big round from Trex, all in all. Being able to hold on to that Shower's position was probably what saved him in the round. If he goes down in the battle to Kiko, it's so problematic, and obviously eliminating Camo, who I don't know how he survived anywhere near as long as he did. In the end, though, doesn't matter. That's where the money now fades completely for Liquid. They're going to be left with no cash other than a small amount for Kamek to invest into. Now, he's had some hyper-aggressive rounds, and well, he's got the squad alongside him? Sorry, what?
Smoke's down.
I'm going to go ahead and ask for a replay of that one ahead of time.
Can we just show it now? I don't want to wait.
The round. Yeah, that is a nice start. Two-man advantage in a round where you've got next to nothing, where Vitality are starting to build up momentum. Putting 2 rounds in a row on the board, some clutches, some big plays, and now being put in the dirt by a quick bullet out of Kiko. Showstopper there if they need it to fall back on, and now you're going to be much more likely to pop that ultimate. The wraparound, it's going to come in at just the right time by the looks of it. Safe, checking both ways. He's gone to clear it. Suspicious of that push-up through Bath. Maybe a little too suspicious. He commits to the fight alone, and the spike is now dropped. 45 seconds on the clock, and the advantage firmly in Team Liquid's hands.
If you'd have told me at the beginning of the year, we'd have Safe, Derke, Les, and Kiko playing a Brimstone, and Kiko would be the best player in the server, I think I'd have sent you to a mental hospital, but right now this guy is just on fire once again. Another pay safeguard Thrifty to put them back into contention. I'm going to need that replay right about now.
Yeah.
I know what I'm going to get. I'm going to get him walking up and popping someone with one bullet on the corner of a wall. Yeah, that is exactly what I expected to see, but it is just disgusting. A little bit of luck that goes a long way, but that's got to be infuriating. But he then follows it up with even more damage.
devastating blow to Vitality. This has put them in a do-or-die situation, sink or swim, as Team Liquid put their economy right down. Ults, well, some of them are there. Viper's Pit could even be online. But for Vitality, they commit those ults. Even just losing these weapons here, the lead will quickly extend further and further in Team Liquid's favor. Big pressure on the B side. Viper's the only one left outside of A. That'll be late play by Les, probably just cutting off those rotates. If they commit to this B side, well, it's not quite the same hold that Team Liquid have had before. They'll have a decent time at least getting in.
Looking to try and get some information back. Oh, that's actually a safe spot for Panitek to stand in. So that's going to be a nasty surprise. They need to make sure they clear this. It seems like Safe is aware that there was potentially a gap. Nade going to be put onto the planter. It will be stuck, but Safe's dead for it. That's great work from Camo. A good placed piece of utility that now gives them the man advantage, and he has his showstopper ready to go.
Well, that's the real problem. Even if it was a 5v5, that showstopper is dangerous, but now putting the numbers further in their favor, trading it down to a 4 versus 3. No ultis to recover from for Vitality. If Les had found a kill or the plant, perhaps, that Viper's Pit would make it an impossible task. Instead, Team Liquid, they isolated themselves. Nats is down, Wall is down. Battle in the open, and it's won by Vitality. Les with the double. Well, the Pit online might not be needed. That time, too far gone. And somehow Vitality have clutched out that round.
Yeah, that feels like, as you said, it was Liquid's own undoing. Trying to make a play through the Viper screen, and there's just a player waiting on the other side, watching for you to try and make that move. Maybe expecting someone to be setting up to spam onto the spike or do something of the sort, but that has definitely caught them. And well, you give Les even a little bit, and he's there to take the round over the line. This now makes things, again, a little bit more questionable for either side. Camo using his ult is now left with a Guardian for this round. The opposing side also have a piece or two missing, though. This is going to be an important round in terms of economy.
Will be again, those credits have been on the breadline for a while. Team Liquid. See if Kamek decides to deploy this ult after contact, but the push up is dangerous towards the A side. Les sitting and waiting. This is across the board what Vitality are doing, hoping there's aggression because they know that they're looking to punish it. The A side now. Oh, it's much more open, and the spike, well, it nearly went down, but just about escapes. They should have a free plant. And a very dangerous post plant, as we've said before, that Viper's Pit, it was online previously, it wasn't used. Probably won't be used here in a 5v3, but if they need it, it's always going to be there as a safety net.
And you have to wonder now for the defense, there's just no point.
Even
just hold on to the weaponry. It was a very quickly done round, and that's the thing, just Les being able to have that extra little bit of space. Speaking of that, he is not giving up. He wants to try and find a little bit more. Obviously, you mentioned his ult's already online. This is all about just putting the nail in the coffin, doing as much damage as humanly possible. Now, there should be a crossfire that doesn't allow this, but it fades just as he comes around the corner. If he checks to his right, he'll have a free kill, but instead, there's the gun. That's the one. But he's thinking, okay, if this guy's holding here, there has to be someone holding somewhere else. And well, Kiko now back in position, back in the spot. He shouldn't have been holding. But a quick flick from Les has just decapitated him. Well, you know what? Panitek, rightfully so, might be running for the hills. He's going to run right into kicks. It won't be the ace, but I feel like I need another slow-mo.
A round's a round at the end of the day. That is a phenomenal round from Les. Waiting for the initial push, and we saw it across the board. Trex was holding the walk up on B. They had players for long as well with the slow creep up of Derke and Kicks, but it's Les every step of the way. And then realizing these players are saving. They're saving because they don't have a lot of cash. They need those weapons, and those weapons have been taken out of their hands. Not even for the risk of winning the round. Tied up 4-4. And with Vitality winning 4 out of the last 5 rounds, understandably, Team Liquid will call a timeout. They need to touch base with the coaching staff, see what they have up their sleeve. Lohan and Yao Zine deep in conversation.
It's one of those rounds as well where your plan gets immediately derailed, you fall into a save, and you save nothing. Like, it's got to be just infuriating, maybe some frustration seeping through from the players, because they could have been running away with this one. You have to remember, round number 4 was them losing ultimately to SMGs. It was Derke getting 3 kills, having that quick rotation back to get the plant. That's a round they shouldn't have lost. And sure, okay, they break back in round number 6, but I think the damage had already been done. The economy boost had already been garnered, and from then on, Vitality have started to look like the favored team. As mentioned, Les's Viper Spit still online. He's probably earned about half the kills back to get another one, but looking for the right place to try and use it. This is a very heavy stack early in the round towards this B site.
Oh, Derke. He took a while to get there. The trade is possible as a result. It might not be as easy to convert with these weaker weapons, but keeping it back and forth. Okay. Trade for trade early is all you need. Kamek somehow able to survive. Has ult. Has the Guardian as well to try to rip some heads off, and we've seen the damage that those Sheriffs can do, but the main damage dealer with those is being Kiko. He's already put to bed early. Late push-up belongs. Well, it's a little bit too late, and they're even leaving the A site.
The thing is, they'll get a gun for it. They've just pinged it on the floor, so that's at least something. It's down to whether or not any of the other players can buy time. Okay. No, the answer is yes. Nats being able to find one. That Guardian was juggled over. Puts things into an advantageous position. Now, we've already mentioned that if there isn't a player to watch the flank, then there is a gap. And that's what's currently there. There are players pushing both avenues. Even if Camo is caught, Paditek is still going to be behind them. Kicks needs to win this fight. If he doesn't, they're in serious trouble. And that's Camo dropping another. The remaining players almost have to try and find more aggressive positions, otherwise they're going to be caught from behind. Not really knowing that Paditek was there. Safe is going to be revealed. I think he's just a pixel has caught him, and that's enough for Kamek. Massive round once again for the side of Liquid.
They keep getting it done with these weaker weapons. That's the lead. Back into Team Liquid's pocket, 5-4 on the pay safeguard Thrifty. And it just seems like even last time we have Kiko popping 2 heads off rip. That's something. Here it's a weak fight on B long. It doesn't work out for Vitality, but it's not a death sentence. It's the fact that they lose control behind. It's the fact that then you're able to see one player walk right up. It was Paditek using the wall that Nats had in play. Just as Nats died, the wall falls, but guess what? They're not looking that way. Free kill. That's a lot of gaps in Vitality's attack there, and hopefully they'll take stock of that ahead of this round.
Yeah, it does seem like a real reliance on Les or Trex to really be holding that ground. Early control, though, taken towards the showers. Looking like they might opt to pick up the pace a little bit here. With the Viper's Pit down, this would put them right into the crosshair of Camo. His only job really is to delay them if they go this way, and actually the Tiger coming through behind them has forced their hand.
It's that pit, though. They've got players stuck behind it, wanting to move up on the flank. Perhaps that buys a moment for Camo to step through and cause chaos. Orbital Strike comes into play. Spike on site, 2 players there. Much more passive play from Nat, playing around the back of the pit, but he will be caught. Camo on the trade just alerts these players in Bath that he...
Oh, he has no idea. Ooh, okay. I think Les was just as surprised as anyone else that someone came pushing out of that smoke. Seeming like they're a little bit lost at this stage. Viper's Pit is finally utilized, and it comes to its doom. Liquid are fighting back.
Not giving up just yet. Derke and Trex decently tagged up as well. They're getting out of here. Trex taking a skull as he does. And the rotate, it's not going to be quick because that teleport is being camped inside of the Seekers on their way. They'll fade soon, but just long enough. They'll be around to see that Trex was inside the teleporter. He steps back, moves towards the site, drops a molly on the way. That's a piece of utility removed. Orbital Strike and Showstopper to deal with, and both players making it to long. The flank from Derke perfectly timed. The molly's just faded. Kiko has to clear this out, knowing there was a brim here not long ago, but little does he know that the real danger is not in front, it lies behind with Derke dropping him. This round is done. The question is, how costly will it be? Do we see the Orbital Strike put through? Trex has it out. He's thinking about it, but no tap. No defuse started. No need to waste the ultimate. Vitality keep both big ultis for the next round and equalize 5-5.
Yeah, in a lot of cases, you might have seen Padetic just trying to bait out some of those ultimates, but you look at the economy of his team and it just isn't worth it. Like, you need to make sure your own economy is trying. Yeah, this was a peculiar round in general from Camo. Just, I feel like he got a little bit lost with what was going on. Took a timing, but then they do well to fight things back. It's just this 2v2. This wraparound, being able to get out of this scenario, Trex finding a high impact frag, and then the way that Derke just played that timing was perfect.
Yeah, also like Kamek's timing, being close to Bath, hearing the pick go down, and immediately swinging in made the difference. No avenue for them to fight from. 5-5, we have gone neck and neck, but Vitality not happy with the work so far. They're looking for a little bit more. A 5v4 with a showstopper, an orbital strike saved from the previous round, and a plant almost guaranteed at this point. It's not looking very good for the side of Team Liquid. They've invested a lot of credits into this round, and with Nats down...
He's just been beating his own game.
Do you consider a save here?
Oh, it doesn't look like it. Kamek's the first point of contact. Kiko actually going to find one on the flank. Maybe overstepping their bounds a little bit. This puts it back into a 3v3. Safe, in a decent position though. It's Kiko caught out with utility. The burden of a Brimmy. Already the defuse half though is going to be denied eventually, but this still gives at least a small slither of hope, and that's the thing. Vitality know this. They want to try and fight forward. Safe not giving an opportunity as Vitality now take the lead in their attack side half.
1 round left to play for. 3 ultimates in play for Vitality. A terrifying round that we're about to witness. I love this as well. Just this TP, it looks silly in the moment, but it's Trex removing himself from that fight so he can wrap around, be the late player to catch flanks, anything like that, but mainly have that orbital strike in case it gets really
Molly
scary.
and anything
Molly,
else.
whatever, yeah, exactly.
He knows his role within the team. He's not overstepping the bound. Definitely important. Now this purchase, not great from the defense. Padetic dead to rights. He's just been wrecked. In fact, it's a steamroller straight through B long. There's nobody left to defend it.
Look, it was a round that they had to play aggressive. You're coming up against those ultimates. Orbital strike, showstopper. If you don't get aggressive, the round's already over. Derke, he tried to go for one in the spawn. Now he knows. Okay, all right. Well, he thought they were a little closer than that. Luckily, they had stepped back. Still, though, Armageddon, Orbital Strike online. Team Liquid need to be so fast. Caution to the wind, run in, win every single fight. They're even throwing in the ults early. Just knowing that this is Vitality's round, playing with confidence, and that's a safe call if ever I've seen one. Camo, 1v5, and he will be shut down with the last round of the half being an in-zone flawless.
Yeah, from the 3-0 start, that was a pretty incredible recovery from Vitality to come out on top. They've always been strong, though, when it comes to that attack side, doing well versus foot. The same, however, can be said for their opponents. So this might not be dead and buried, even though we've seen that resurgence already.
Well, it's anyone's game coming in to the second half. A close map. Thankfully, it's not a 9-3. It's not a 10-2. We'll see who is going to be taking the second half. If we're going to have a map 5, or if that trophy will see a lift very, very soon. For now, we're off to a break. 7-5, a much closer half than what we saw in any of the previous maps here in the grand final. And now we're about to kick off the second half of Bind. Team Liquid on the attack side with 5 rounds. They are trailing by 2. And they started it out with a 3-0 lead. It's been a while since we've seen them string rounds together, Tom. But do you think things will change here? You left the previous half saying they're pretty good on the attack.
Yeah, we've seen them at least go even when it comes to attack side halves. I think their defeat to Foot was when they were a little bit quieter. Other than that, BBO 8-4. So they've proven they can do it. I think especially looking at the composition, a double flash, the ability to get into post plants and what, by the looks of it, pace.
Oh, they're not looking to slow things down. Right into Vitality, but Safe puts a stop to it. Guided Salvo stops the squad. Bullets put Patatek in the ground. And now, a 5 versus 4. And a completely stalled out attack side that has a flank underway. A wall that I don't think is quite worked out towards the spawn. So in fact, you've got Derke walking straight past it. Whether that plays an effect or not, we will see as the numbers are thinning out on site, leaving us just 3 Team Liquid members standing. Bathroom and mid flanks underway. Players in every conceivable angle, and it is a shutdown with the Tiger even taking down Kamek.
You almost forget sometimes that even comes up in the kill feed because it's so rare to see that Tiger do enough damage for a kill. But this is the exact start they look for. Another in-zone flawless. Our sponsors must be loving it. For what we've seen so far in this map, it's been Thrifties and flawlesses across the board. The question though is, will this continue? Because again, it was a solid start for Liquid, but since then, it has been a little bit flat.
Daddy's home.
Hey, we saw the sign earlier.
We absolutely did. The buff is in effect yet again. 3 rounds in between these two. For Team Liquid, well, they would have very much wanted that pistol. It was a large part of the rounds they ended up putting on the board in the first half. But it's fallen into Vitality's hands, and a conclusion on Fracture looking more likely with every passing round. Weak 5 from this attack side, but they've gotten close and Safe. Oh, he's not in any danger. He is the danger. 4 kills. Pistols as they may be, doing it like that when they're close and they've got the numbers to take you down. It's impressive, and it's big building up the ultimate. You hear the chant for an ace starting, and actually, it makes sense. If Safe goes for it and goes down, he has ult for next round. That's a huge buff.
He's thrown the gun over as well. He's literally getting everything
got the orb
away. Already orb in hand. So now it's less valuable, I guess, and well, less will be the one to steal the kill away. Another in-zone flawless back-to-back. I think we had that in the first half as well, which is unusual. Normally you expect to see at least a little bit of damage. Still no aces yet. I said if there's a man to do it, Safe will be there. I think he's had a couple of 4Ks, but not quite managed to get the 5 over the line. But now this is where I feel like I need to see a response. 5 rounds in a row.
There.
Well, 7 of the last 8 as well. This really is starting to look pretty doom and gloom for Liquid after a dominant first couple of maps. They're looking for early contact in mid.
Found it. Derke is the one to go down though. Spam back from
Good
Kicks
trade.
is good. That's a great trade in a round like this. Bulldogs in play for Kicks and Safe, but the ultimate sits well and truly above what Team Liquid are bringing to the table. They pump the brakes, they wait with Spike. When this smoke fades, well, presumably, we're just gonna see Trex pop down another one. Oh, he wants to check first.
Yeah, that's the worrying thing is you lose Kiko. In the past, you'd lost your duelist. Now you've lost your smokes. So there's a lot of avenues that you have to be wary about. Sure, okay, some Viper utility can help you. And speaking of Vipers, this is a lurk on lurk. You've got one lurking B and the other lurking flank. They've crossed paths completely. I'm almost now looking at who's going to hit that timing a little bit better. But with the space that's been garnered, they can actually just hit the B site, knowing for a fact that it's clear and leaving Safe in the dark.
Satchel up.
It's a big pick. The rotate back though is being heard. Les knows there's a free kill coming his way. Camo none the wiser to his position, and Les quickly pouncing onto Kamek. But the response is there. Team Liquid claimed a kill in the 3v2 as a result. Trex, whether they saw him or not,
Such
he
a wide
won
position.
that fight. Nance being aggressive there in a 2v3. Now a 2v2 spike, still a decent bit of time in it. I mean, it's winnable for Vitality, but less so by the second. They need to kill very quickly, and that could have been it. Instead, Team Liquid are the ones that take it across the line, closing the distance. But Fracture still on the horizon.
Yeah, for sure. I think that round literally came down to just the timing of two different Vipers. They're forced into the TP by the ultimate in the end, but it was Nats being this far ahead, and then I think a few more seconds go by, he maybe kills everyone as they look to come through that teleporter. It is a fine, fine margin that gives Liquid their first round on this attack. Now again, both teams on the brink. A response here from Vitality could genuinely put them down. Like it could leave Liquid having to fight in that 5th map. Liquid win this round, and they're back in the map.
It is the turning point of the game, of the map so far at least, and aggression from Team Liquid set to come through on this A site. Derke will have a challenge, but not for a little while. It's again that hyper-patient play on this attack side. Dodging the Tiger. Now they'll take control over Bath. Re-smoke down, maybe even see them step into it. You remember, you've got a Sky there for Patatek, the ability to flash out. The same thing could be said for Kamek, even doubling up on them at times. Make it very difficult. Tiger spots Derke, shots don't land, and Kamek is punished. Kicks covering from further back. Camo looks to quickly dive on Derke. Will land the first, but again, Kicks is there, making this an advantageous position for Vitality. The barrel spotted by Trex, but just painfully around the corner. Hiko has landed the shot, but Kicks continues to take them down. Seeker's in, and he knows exactly where his last victim is. The Estonian executioner, as we dubbed him. And he's coming in for his prey, but Kiko is the one to look for the fight. He'll walk into safe. Around goes Kicks, not quite for the kill, but less with the trade. A round is a round, and for Vitality, they have found double digits as a result.
Yeah, he was the response to every single action that was there for Liquid. You try and take space, he's there. You try and fight through a smoke, he's there. It was a wonderful round from him individually. And sure, the setup information that was handed was sublime. But now we turn to Liquid. I said it, the finances of this team now goes down to a very awkward position. It's whether or not they want to gamble it all to try and get back into the map now, or have to fight from what will be a pretty hefty deficit. Ultimates are starting to build. In fact, they're much more favorable for that attack side coming up. But it's whether you want to try and go, okay, let's see what we can do with a couple of guns here and a single ultimate, and then have an ult round in a couple, or if you want to save and have it all at once, but maybe then Vitality break back. They only need a few from that point.
Oh, that is really the problem. It is the gap between the two now. It's often going to force your hand to a more fast-paced, more greedy style to claim the rounds here and now. Certainly when they push to 11. For now, 10-6. Guess it is still in question. Dealer's choice. As we come into this, you got to look at things that, for Team Liquid, we expect to work that little bit better. And I think you look back at previous maps, or even how a lot of these rounds have gone so far. Feels like Nats is being caught out. He's been over-aggressive at times. They're losing that utility. He definitely hasn't been having an easy time. And to some extent, you can see the Vitality, their aggression in moments, staying close on Bath when he popped his ult and so on, they're always a step ahead.
Well, he's been studied. That's the thing. There was a time where he was the best player in the world on this map on Viper. He was unstoppable. That gets eyes on you. Camo's rifle will be a hero alongside Kiko. Two players that can understand why they have it. Nats is going to garner some risky information, but it's all to set up those two players. That's the goal in this round. Can we create heroes with the information we give them?
Oh wow, guided salvo nades. A lot sent in towards that side, or towards Hookah at least, but not a lot connected.
Oh,
it's
no.
Derke to find them all. Cleaning house on the B long play. Getting the spike as well. This one Well, left down to an ult orb charger for Kamek. He'll at least have his for the next, but the 4 players standing between him and around victory, just too much to manage. Derke, big 4K, and that's 11 on the board for Vitality. Now for Team Liquid, there's no room for error. Every round needed for regulation victory.
Yeah, luckily that was sort of that half buy I was talking about. Just putting some weaponry in. Bear in mind, he did get peeked by both rifle players there and took both their heads off like it was absolutely nothing. And this is the thing. We've spoken about this squad as a super team for many reasons. One of them is that every player on this roster can frag. Just looking at the scoreboard right now, it is a testament to how solid in depth the individual skill is. Everybody putting up numbers, everybody stepping up, like we saw from Liquid in maps 1 and 2. Come on, early use of Thrash.
I've got your trail.
All it's really done is garner some space for Nats.
See if he can make use of the space that they found. Camo certainly won't. Trex just jumped into the smoke and took him down. Orbital strike, Derke is safe. Looking for the fight up close. They've got a shorty out, but Kamek too quick on the trigger to let that shorty ring out in the end. Molly to stop the push forward, but Patatek still falls. The battle from Safe was strong, but he won't find much more than that. Blast on the wraparound. Has Pit if he can get close enough. I think he's going to have the fight before that's possible. Spotted out. Dealt with Nats, who was low. That was the headshot delivered.
One enemy remaining.
And oh! Okay, he must have been behind the smoke. He stepped out of it at the wrong time. Kamek now in the 1v1. Does well to shut down kicks. Time on his side. It's ticking away unless he's looking the wrong way. Easily done. Team Liquid with a Red Bull clutch. Just trail by 4.
And that's something that's impressed me throughout all of the maps we've seen so far is Kamek and his positioning. I feel like you put this man in a late round and he has the read. He's going to make the right call, make the right decision, and even just tries to bait out Les a little bit towards the end. The fact is, though, it's just impressive how much Les was able to do from that flank, and it's an issue that both teams have been dealing with. You don't have that traditional Sentinel. You're constantly going to have to try and stop flanks. And every single time they've seemed to have impact. The problem now for Vitality is they've got a few pieces missing, but a Viper's Pit and a Judge, I think he'll be fine.
That will pad the gap somewhat, I think, yeah. I don't think we'll have many players going anywhere near that B-long angle. Problem is, if you go the other way, the other extremity, we can see Derke's got it on lockdown. Operator in hand, and that was a big menace, pardon me, in the previous map, where it was constantly finding those opening kills or just following up later on in the round with a deep aggression on their attack. Here it will find its reward as long as Derke is patient. Oh. Eventually, he looks the other way.
Yeah, this is where Nats is looking to try and fight off that timing. The expectation that whoever was here would look away, but Derke did not look away. He knows his opponent, he knows who he's up against, and now holding on to that Shower's position is a problem. They have to try and almost go the other way. The timing, that somewhat worked out. I felt like Safe was dead to rights, and with Showstopper online, there isn't really a safe plan. They need to get rid of Derke. But if they focus too much on that, they could fall victim to anyone else.
Yeah, this is the problem. You can see the setup here. You can see Kicks, who's been dealt with. Up above was Trex, only good for the one. Showstopper fired in, damage done, but no kill. And with the operator, okay, there's the classic, never mind. It's gonna say seconds. Not as easy to convert.
He's got to go.
Spikes down, it's done. There's no way for Kiko to win this. 8 seconds, he'll grab the spike. Needs to plant right now, and he'll stick it. Les just around the corner though. Here comes the Judge to close out the round and put Vitality on map point. Fracture coming into vision over the horizon. It's not far away now.
There was so few worlds where that Judge on a rotate became valuable. Les literally sat in his pit the whole round just in case they decided to try and quickly go back the other way. The round was looking done, but even still, we saw Liquid fight back into it. And it comes down to the one 1v1 that could have worked out. Now both teams find themselves on the brink, but it is Vitality, 5 rounds to the good. Orbital strike available for Trex. Operator still in the hands of Derke. The one thing in their favor of the attack is the ults.
Camo firing it in.
Oh, it's gone.
And it's gone immediately. What a shutdown by Safe. Orbital Strike comes into play. It's a disaster. That could have been the opening for Team Liquid. Instead, damage is done, and they are running back through this Viper wall. Smoke in play already. They're backed out. They can't go for it. They heard the snake bite fall, and that's the end of the redirect. Now where did Team Liquid go?
But that's the thing. You've used your sort of like one trump card. The showstopper's gone. You've got a Viper's Pit, but where can you use it? You're going to try and use it to get out of hookah? It can work, but it's definitely risky. The one good thing is that Lass's main delay is gone. And they're going to try and sell a ruse on the other side. Nat is going to be sent in, actually using that Viper's Pit as a fake. Try and sell the idea that they are heading into this position while they look to jump out. But Vitality have not moved.
No, they haven't. Still two here. Kicks is dealt with though, but Les is not! He stands strong on B and shuts down this play. Team Liquid, that should be it. Done and dusted, put in the dirt here on map number 4. And Fracture, well, it's coming into vision now. I can see it clearly. The shots from Kamek will not land. And another big round for Les to close this out. We are going the distance. No robbery today. We get every map we deserve. All 5 of them, baby.
Les was utterly incredible towards the end of that one. Ended 22-11. The Brazilian on foreign soil, showing why he was imported. And well, he's gone the distance before. Let's see if this time he comes out with a victory. We're going to map number 5.
Red Bull gives you wings.